Alright, this is just an example of using Python to generate some sequences, and also I'm using a Jupyter notebook here to do this. So the first thing that we want to review is the idea of a list in Python, which is formed with these square brackets. That's the same thing as we're going to kind of be using lists as sequences here, because this list A now, I've created this list A, that is the first 5 integers. I can refer to these things based on their position. The first thing, like we would write A sub 0, so I'm writing this in LaTeX here. A sub 0 equals 1, and that's how in Python we refer to the sequence, the list A, and the position 0. We can grab a collection of terms using the colon, like the first 3 terms, 1, 2, 3. Notice that the index 3 is not a part of this, right? A3 would be 4. This is the 0th, first, second, third, fourth term. We can use for loops to generate these. So we'll create a starting value, create a list with just one term, and we will say for I in range 10, and this is going to repeat, so this is going to make my loop repeat 4 times, and what I'm going to do, or 10 times, and what I'm going to do is each time I'm going to refer to the previous element of the list A, and I'm going to add 1 to it. Then that thing, this next value that I've created, I'm going to append it to the list. So I'm going to take this value 1, add 1 to it, and put the result after this. Then I'm going to take that number, add 1 to it, put the result after that. So I do that with a.append, and I'm appending the next thing to it. And now if I look at A, here I have 11 terms. I started with 1, and then I did something to it 10 times, added to it, and I get this list A. So the next thing that I want to do is create a table of values. I'm going to use pandas to do that. So we have to import the library, import pandas as PD, and I'm going to create a thing called df, that is a pandas data frame that contains that list A, and I'm going to name the column sequence values. And now we can look at that data frame and see here we have our sequence values, and here we have the indexes. But the pandas data frame will create an index here for these. So let's just, I'm actually going to make a little more interesting. Let's change it to, instead of beginning with 1, let's begin with 3, and let's add 2 every time. And we can, again, we'll rewrite that data frame, and now we have a little more interesting table here. So the final thing that we might want to do is we might want to create a graph of this sequence. So to do that, we're going to use matplotlib. First we say matplotlib inline in order to produce the graphs in the notebook, and then we have to import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So anytime we want to use the plotting function, we're going to preface it with plt, and plt.plot. I just want to plot A, and I'm going to make it with a little circle marker, and that makes me my plot. Similarly, I could change this marker, and I can add some customization. So if I want to make another plot of A with some dashed and dotted values with a label, It says sequence A sub n. I'm going to add a title to this. My arithmetic sequence. And we're going to include the labels for this with the legend command. I'm going to put it in the best location, and I'm going to turn the frame around it off. And now we get this plot. Looks great. So that's just a basic introduction to Python and plotting in tables with just some arithmetic sequences.